Sign up today.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to the July 16th. Is today the 16th? I think it is. Yeah, it's the 16th all day long. This is the terrific or the thirsty Thursday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Hey, let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. And the easiest way to do that, well, it's to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstances of these markets. We're going to go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I just past 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I want you to know that I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But much more important than that, during this next 60 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. You can dial on it at 877-927-6648. If you can't dial in, we've got you covered there, too. You can go ahead and send me an email, steve@tfnn.com. Inside that subject heading, please put radio show question, of course, in our Tiger's Den. Well, any ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on terrific Thursday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to Lush Show. Right now, we got the Dow off 150, about 0.5%. S&P down 16 points, 0.5%. NASDAQ 100 off about 1 full percentage point, 102 points. The trannies are up 62. Gold's off $15. Silver's up 9 cents. You've got light sweet crude down 48 cents. Natural gas back about a nickel. But let's go to our first caller out here. Let's go to Brent in Martinez, California. Brent, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing just great, Steve. I appreciate you taking the call. And
Sure.
I did send an email yesterday about oil, but shortly thereafter I sent that. You covered that, so
Okay.
I don't think that's necessary. You did a good job with that yesterday. So
Perfect.
I was looking if you would not mind taking a look at GE.
Yeah,
I
so what do
don't
you see
own
here?
any, but I'm considering maybe taking a long position, but I just want to get your thoughts on it if you don't mind.
Okay. So are you taking a look? Is like right now where you're looking to go long? Is there a
The one thing I did notice, if you take off that recent low, I think I got down to about 540, went up to about 850, and then the retracement on that was about a 618, and then I think we might be above the OUL, but I just have to, and I think it's getting close to changing to green, but just I want you to take a look at it and see if
okay, great. No,
correct.
Look, that's perfect, and thanks for that. So here, let me just show folks one of the things you're looking at. So what Brent did is he went back to these lows out here from back in May, and he just took a look at a retracement from the high that formed back on June the 8th, and you'll see that it's right in about the 0.618 retracement area, which was about $6.66. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. Now, on a daily time frame here, Brent, on the daily time frame, you've got a daily profile, and price is just above that. The bottom of that profile is $7.08. You're trading at $7.11, which was why I asked the question, are you looking to go long right now? If so, you've got a level of support, so to speak, even though prices had to regain that area. That's a positive. You had to close above it yesterday. I always like to see two closes above or below, depending on whether it's support or resistance out here, just as some type of follow-through. So it appears you're getting that message. And so that would validate what you're looking at when we just take a look at market profile. So that's the daily time frame. Let's flip this back and take a look at the weekly. So the real rub here for you, or the real resistance, is the looks to be the top of the weekly profile, which price has not been able to close above for about the last month. That level is $7.10. We're trading at $7.11 right now. So should should you get into this position, and I'm not saying not to, but I want you to know that on a weekly basis, you're right up against resistance. You'd certainly like to see a close above that by Friday. And again, that number is $7.10. If price did close above that, that would tell us that we're back inside the daily profile, and price would likely target the 814 to 857 area. The daily profile is bearish in structure, but you don't have to worry about that right now because that would be a nice move, a dollar move on a $7 stock out there. That would be a heck of a nice percentage gain out here. So those would be the profile levels that you would be looking at. Any questions here with regard to these charts, what we're looking at?
No, that's great, Steve. That's very helpful. That gives me some levels to be watching.
Okay, so let's go take a look at my other daily time frame charts out here. And you are correct. Price is above Stevie's red line right now, which is 686. So that would say, in this case here, my interpretation would be at least more counter trend rally, whether it turns into a full-blown out rally that gets you up to 1073, and 1073 is where GE most recently broke down. So that's on its daily basis, that would be a price target, but it's first got to get above its most recent highs out there. But I just give you that as a number. The ultimate support on any pullback, should that occur, would be 574. That's its breakout support. So on a daily basis, we got breakout support, breakout resistance out here, price above Stevie's green line, or in this case here it's red, but supporting what we just took a look at on the daily chart. So let's flip over here, Brent, to the weekly time frame. And what you like on the weekly time frame is price has a nice bottom, Rhodes momentum indicator bottom, makes that move higher, makes that 0.618 retracement or so. But what it was also doing on a weekly basis was pulling back and testing Stevie's red line. It's above that, so it's above the red line on the weekly, above it on the daily. All of that supports price moving higher. If we take a look at the monthly time frame chart out here on the monthly for General Electric, it is also above that red line level. So when you're above the red line on all three time frame, it's giving you the signal to proceed forward out there. So that's what I see when taking a look at the chart. So here we can summarize GE is your real resistance level is going to be the $7.10 level. I don't know how it's going to play out. I just know that you're up at that resistance area.
Okay, yeah, it looks like it wouldn't be a fool's errand to maybe take a shot at it. It seemed like it is more or less reaffirming some of the things I was looking at and going beyond that with some other levels to be watching. So I appreciate that.
You bet. All right. Well, Brent, as always, good to hear from you, and be safe out there, and we'll look forward to speaking to you again soon.
All right. Thanks so much, Steve. Have a great weekend, the rest of this week, and I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds great. That was Brent in Martinez, California, and folks, I'd love to hear from you too. A little swig of water out there. So let's take a look we got about a minute here. Let's go take a look at the market, see what they're doing, what they're not doing, what are they doing. Then we'll come back to the questions from yesterday. Brent had mentioned he had sent in an email and wanted me to cover light sweet crude, and there were a few others that had sent in emails, so I want to cover those when we get back from this break here. Here's what we know right now as 1:14 in the afternoon. The ES Mini trading above the top of its profile. That's resistance, so that says it's still bullish. The NQ is the only one that has price trading within a profile out here. It's a bearish structured profile with resistance at 10,862 and support at 10,272. The Dow above its daily profile, the Russell above its as well. So 3 of the 4 indices still have bullish configurations. That's not to say they don't have topping patterns, because they do. But they've also got this other bullish consideration. So more neutral than it is anything else. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, Taz understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the Taz Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the Taz Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. Let's go to our next caller. We've got Jim in Palm Harbor. Jim, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you, Steve?
I'm doing very well. Thanks so much for asking. Now, I know we're going to dive down, get kind of granular here. I think you're calling about a 5-minute time frame chart on the SQQQ. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me what you're looking at and how I can help you.
Okay. About 4 a.m. this morning, it had gapped up in the pre-market quite a bit, and now it's down in the middle of that gap, and it's sort of formed an island top, but I was just curious. I kind of drew a line at the top of that gap, and now it's broke through that, so it didn't act too much like support. And I was just wondering, I've got another line down at where it broke out going up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was just wondering how you feel about the gaps and where it, right now it's sort of trading on that 5-minute chart right in the middle of the gap. And I was just curious, when you have a gap and an island top and everything, what do you think about them acting as support and resistance lines? And right now, it's just hanging out in the middle of that gap.
So for me to answer that question, it would be I would answer it differently depending on the instrument that we're taking a look at. So since the SQQQ is the I think that's the 3X short for the NDX 100, since I know that the underlying instrument is going to be the NQ out here, I would be focused on its patterns. And if I'm going to be using a 5-minute time frame chart, and then for the most part, I'm typically not dealing with gaps. Not that there aren't some gaps out here, because certainly there are. When the NQ opens back up at 5 o'clock at night or 6 o'clock in the evening, there may be a gap. And certainly on Sunday, based on Friday's close, you might see a gap out here. But the gaps are somewhat minimized. What I'm really expressing to you is I'd really be paying attention to the patterns if I was trading the 5-minute time frame chart. So, for example, to give you an example, here I've got the 5-minute NQ chart up. And so one of the things that you knew or would know is on this that back at about 4:10 in the morning, 4:10 in the morning began a TD9 count to the downside. Now, the beauty of that was what it did was it also provided us with a resistance level of 10,590. And so at about 6:40 this morning, price was moving lower, doing less relative energy, generates that Rhodes momentum indicator signal here. You got it was a hammer candle. It was followed up by a bullish engulfing candle, price getting above Stevie's red line out there. And that was telling you price was getting a rally. Our target, irrespective of the TAS market profiles out here, because you can do this without the profile levels, that was telling us that price was going to target 10,590. So what did the NQ actually do? At 9:30 this morning, price got up to 10,590, never closed above that for 2 bars in a row. It was a slight close above it at 9:40 and then back below it at 9:45. See, the tools and the systems that you and I use here, it doesn't matter what we're looking at. It doesn't matter what the time frame is. It just simply assists us. So that was a resistance point. There probably is an A to B equals CD pattern on this package, this version of NinjaTrader that I'm using. I don't have my A to B equals CD tool, but we can visually see that here. And that was then confirmed with a bearish engulfing candle about 9:55, and price is pulled back. Now, you're calling about the SQQ on a 5-minute or the NQ. So here's what we also know. At 12:05 this afternoon, what the NQ on a 5-minute basis did was form a TD9 count top. Actually, it was a little bit higher, but it was a close below on 12:10. So your resistance is at about the 10,554 level. So this is telling us to expect that the NQ on a 5-minute basis to pull back. It's inside its 5-minute profile, and where it's likely targeting on a pullback is 10,524. That's Stevie's red line. That is the center of its profile. That may act as support. It should act as support. If it doesn't act as support, then 10,507 or 10,488.50. And so, Jim, so I'm answering your question this. I've gone through this. Of course, it's easy to be a left side of the chart reader out here. But you watch the show all the time. You know what we do out here. And I really do try to do the objective narration of the chart, what it has told us, what it is telling us now, to assist us. So in here, we didn't take a look at any gaps at all, but instead just the tools that I'm comfortable with that help us to identify and communicate to us what the market is doing. Does that help at all?
Oh yeah, it does. And I do keep an eye on the NQ when I'm trying to trade to something like the SQQQ.
Yeah.
And I also look at other things too. But yeah, that helps a lot. Looking at the support and resistances on the NQ, I should have drawn those in, and I did not. But I do have a trend line that's down, but it's above that now. So
sure.
I kind of felt like the NQ would be, or the NASDAQ could be going down quicker than what it has today. But I don't know. Maybe by the end of the week.
It's possible. So you're on the 5-minute time frame. Nothing wrong with that. And we get different messages depending on the time frame that we would look at. And here's the 30-minute time frame. And so on the 30-minute time frame, whether or not the 5-minute pulls back to those levels that we looked at, the little bit larger picture, right? If I go to a 30-minute time frame out here, you can see the nice bottom pattern that it has out here. It's got the TD9 count bottom that took place at about 7 o'clock this morning, I believe, and maybe it was 6:30. It was 7 o'clock. And then there was a little bit of a push lower interest session, 11:30, but all that was doing was pushing lower, doing less relative energy, and then you had the bullish reversal candle at 12 noon. Now, the key level to be watching out here, let's just say, and I'm not saying don't be short, but if you're an intraday trader, 10,619 is the TD9 count breakdown level for the NQ. That should be resistance. If price closes above it on the 30-minute time frame, it's telling you that it wants to go to the next level. Well, the next breakdown level is 10,685 out there. So I would really be watching this 10,619 level on a 30-minute time frame, because what market participants have signaled to you and I, and this is the reason to use the equity future contract out here. You don't have to trade it, but this gives you all of the price data that you need for almost 23 hours, which is way better than price data, because this is all about being able to explore price out here. And in our little laboratory out here, which is our screens that we're looking at that give us these patterns out here, I just want more data. Than what the TQQQ or the SQQQ or just the Qs themselves offer. And it took me a long time to understand that and figure that out. But I know that but in doing so, it improved my trading and my returns so substantially that I really suggest that people really do this. Get access to it, learn these patterns out here and put them to work, because they're really helpful in interpreting what the market is communicating to us. So the next level for us to be watching out here is going to be 10,619, Jim.
Okay. I really appreciate it, Steve. I always listen to you every day. You do a great job.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And have a great day, and we'll look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
You bet. That was Jim in Palm Harbor. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back. Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as,
whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. So I'd like to get to a couple of the questions that came in yesterday. One from Jared, and Jared, I'm going to kind of summarize his question, but it basically goes like this: if the Nasdaq was the strongest on the way up, the fact that it's lagging the other indices, is that an indication of a top? And so my answer, Jared, is no. But we're going to have to come back to this because we do have call-ahead seating here at TFNN. Isn't that a beautiful thing? And so with call-ahead seating, that means we're going to go out to New Hampshire and speak with Mike. Mike, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you?
Well, thank you, Steve.
Good.
I'm looking at Sorrento Therapeutics, SRNE.
Yeah.
And I bought this at $4.46. I'm optimistic. Well, let me say hopeful. I realize these vaccine plays are kind of a horse race, but it's pulling back, and my plan was to buy it maybe today at $5.60. So I don't know if we could look at your support levels, but I was thinking the candle on June 24th might have been a breakout candle.
June 24th. Yeah, so you had a gap to the upside on June 25th. So sure, I get that. There was some decent volume behind it, about 71 million shares out there. So I see that.
I was thinking it might pull back to the top of that candle on June 24th, but it doesn't look like it's going to go down that far.
Yeah, well, we don't know just yet. So here's let me provide you with some data that will be helpful. I could draw an A to B equals CD pattern on this. It would look like this. Now, this is I'm not pulling the chart back or anything like that, but this would be, it looks like probably a 1 to 2.618 or so. Yeah, 1 to 2.618 A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. There was this bearish reversal candle that formed on July 17th, and so you are seeing a natural pullback in that little short-term top that we took a look at. But what's really important is that you have a new profile that formed yesterday. And you had a little wide-ranging bar with some decent volume, 38 million shares, as this was pulling back. And it closed below the bottom of that profile. And the bottom of that profile is 685. You're trading at 687 right now. I don't know where this will close. But what we can say, Mike, is if it did close, I would say underneath the bottom of that profile, again, which is 685 out there, that's actually suggesting that it wants to continue to still move lower. So don't take a look at today's candle as, hey, I could have bought it at the bottom, it's moved higher, because really it could also just be running into counter trend resistance. And your counter trend resistance, because this is a bullish structure daily profile, so closing below it yesterday and then a second day would really tell us that counter trend resistance would be at about the $7.26 range out there. And the reason is that on a bullish structured profile, we know that the center is closer to the bottom, and so that there are buyers and sellers there, and so that is typically on a counter trend rally where price would stop. So it's really going to be the 726 level, whether you got into it today or not, that you need to see price close above. I would suggest being patient because of that A to B equals CD pattern that we looked at out here, and because of the daily profile action. And the other thing that I would be looking at is I want to give you another breakout level, and that breakout level would be $4.84. So yes, you said, hey, the candle session between June 24th and June 25th, there was a gap to the upside, kind of a widest ranging bar out there, and you said that would really be your breakout, and you were looking for the top of the June 24th level. And I'm not going to say don't do that or anything, but if you were going to ask me where was the breakout level on ticker symbol SRNE, what the system says it's $4.84. And $4.84 would really be your buy out here. So that's what I see when I take a look at Sorrento Therapeutics for its daily time frame. The weekly time frame isn't going to help us. Price is above the top of its box, and the monthly price is trading with inside its profiles. It's just already tested and rejected the top of that, which was 885. Let me just real quickly see here if I've got any signals for you on a weekly time frame, a signal, for example, as to where price might be pulling back to. Here, the level was 566 on some kind of a pullback. I think that's around a range area that you were looking for, so that would be supported by the weekly. That's its oscillator unchanged line level, which could also be support. And, the monthly looks pretty good depending on where it closes. A close above 660 this month, we're not there yet, would say that this is generating a change in trend out here to the upside. So that's how I see it. That's how the charts are communicating to you and me. What questions does that pose for you?
Well, that answers my question. I was looking to buy more. I wanted to accumulate more in the 560 or 566 area. So,
okay.
Would you say that I could stick to my plan, and if it goes down to 566, I could accumulate more?
Well, I think you can definitely do that, and then when it gets to 484, you can say, "Geez, Steve told me that the actual breakout level was 484." Now,
okay.
I don't know. Obviously, I can't forecast what this is going to do, right, Mike? But what we can forecast is where was the real breakout level. So when this topped out here in that big wide-ranging bar on May the 18th, that was with a TD9 count, and when it bottomed out here on June the 4th, that was with a TD9 count as well. So it behaves normally out here like most instruments do, and so what I would be doing is I would be paying attention to the daily profile and today's close, and because anything below that 685 level is telling you it wants to move lower. And as far as your areas of 560, I guess I'd be watching volume. If price is moving back with increasing volume, then 484 is more likely or not.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Hey, you bet. Thanks for calling. Let's go out to Michigan and speak with Gary. Gary, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you today?
Great, Steve. Thanks for taking the call, and thanks for all the great work you do.
Sure,
appreciate
my
everything.
pleasure. Yeah.
Great. Love your newsletter.
Well, I love that you love it out there, so that's a good thing. So, and I know you're big into the silver, or you keep you focus a lot on the silver marketplace, and so today we're going to take a look at Endeavor Silver Corp, EXK. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Tell the folks what you're doing and how I can help you.
Well, I'm looking to add to. I got into the 2.5 call when it was floating around $2 a share. Struggling to stay around $2 a share. So I've done well with that so far. But I'm curious what I'm a longer-term player, but I'm looking to add more to either the 2.5. Unfortunately, I got to go up to the $5 call next, and so that I have to understand if it's going to break out sooner than later. Do you think silver's, what's the key points for where silver goes? I know if it gets to a certain point, it runs pretty heavy to the top side because there's not a lot of resistance, but I was looking for some specific numbers from you.
Okay, so let's take let's start with the Endeavor Silver. And here we're taking a look at daily, weekly, and monthly. And again, folks, all we're doing is just trying to understand where are the sellers, where are the buyers. And here what we're going to see is price on a daily, weekly, and monthly has blown the sellers away. It's above all of the tops of those profiles out there. 259 is the one level that is the monthly profile. So the month is not over, but a close above that would be a positive. Now, we're going to go to a breakout here, Gary. So if you'd be kind enough to hold through the break, we'll come back. We'll look at Endeavor Silver as well as the silver contract. Steve Rhodes with TFNN, with Gary in Michigan. We'll be right back.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. Dow down 170, S&P off 17. We're on the line with Gary in New Buffalo, Michigan. We're taking a look at the ticker symbol EXK out here. That is Endeavor Silver. We're going to switch over to our white background charts out here. Look for any kind of topping patterns or signals. Now, Gary, when I take a look at this, I don't have a topping pattern on the daily time frame, although there's clearly an A to B equals CD pattern out here, and there was a shooting star back on July 13th, and today, right now, you got a bear sash candle. Here's what this tells me right now, that this is going to pull back or should pull back to test Stevie's green line, which is currently priced at 264. Now, that line level may pull up a bit as price moves sideways or higher or lower, but it looks like you're going to get a test in that general vicinity, 264. If price did close below 264, it would be signaling too that there's a further retracement, and the problem there with the further retracement is there are no new profiles. I mean, they're down quite a ways. Well, that 259 level, I guess, would be the next profile. That's that monthly profile, and if it can't break out on the monthly basis, that'll make us say something to think about. But right now, looks to me like a bit of a pullback to 264. And we won't really know until we see that and how that unfolds. If it does unfold, what that might mean. On a weekly basis out here, I don't have anything. I don't have any bad news. I don't see any kind of topping pattern. It's above some prior TD9 count breakdown level. So that is positive. And on the monthly time frame for Endeavor, I don't have anything bad here either. So it's just really the daily right now to be managing. But I would anticipate, about another 10 cent, 9 cent pullback or so. And that's what I see at this moment in time. Does that help?
Great. Yeah, it helps. Sure.
All right. So you also asked about silver, so I think it's right. So that we're just taking a look at one equity inside the mining sector, but we certainly want to know what's going on inside the mining sector. But we also want to know what's going on in the case of silver. So let's go to my set of silver futures charts out here, just so everybody can see how silver is trading, both in the current contract month, which would be September, and then you can actually look out into the future. And so with regard regard to silver right now, what I see is today is a key reversal session. And I'm looking at the September contract, and it's key reversal because yesterday's high and low have been exceeded. Price is in an extended condition, and right now it's got at least one tick in the opposite direction. So let's go take a look at my silver chart and see if there's any other topping patterns or signals out there. And boom, voila, there are two of them. There's a TD9 count top. That high is still held out there. And if this were the session close on silver, you've got a bearish engulfing candle that, as well as a key reversal candle that is confirming those patterns. So the Rhodes Momentum Indicator topping pattern. Now, what silver has not done, it has not broken a very key level of support, and that would be Stevie's green line. So what you also want to be paying attention to, which you had mentioned in your question as you prefaced it, was silver. So, Gary, I would be watching $19.40. Now, that number is going to change just slightly, but that's a good enough level out there, $19.40. If price were to close below $19.40, the signal is price is getting ready to pull back. Now, pull back to where? Same routine we would go through. The top of its daily profile is 1832, but we can also see a little rising trend line. It's possible that that trend line might be able to stop any pullback, and that's maybe about 1830 or 1860 or so, but we won't really know until we see how that plays out. The more important thing is that today is generating at least a topping signal inside of silver. And now you have to watch those support levels, and that 1940 is the key support area to watch. Any question on silver?
So if it does close below the 1940 today, then it's bearish, right?
It would give you it would definitely. So you've got a topping signal right now, no matter whether it closes below 1940 or not, as long as it maintains. Well, it's also a key reversal session. So the bearish reversal candle just means one tick in the downside area. But let's just say for all intents and purposes right now, it looks like you've got a topping signal. So now what we have to do whenever you get a topping signal is figure out where support is at. So the first level of support, in this case here, is the oscillator and change line, and that's 1940. Gary, it doesn't have to close below it today. That's a level of support that if you see breached, and when I mean breached, a close, not just an intra-session move lower, but a close below it, then that's telling you have further retracements. And for those further retracements, we've got to go back to our profile levels. I gave you that area on the daily. Right. That's 1830, but we do see that rising trend line. If it breaks through all those things, then the actual breakout level for silver would be 1799. That would be the area where you might look to add to a trade in Endeavor Silver or just silver. But we're not there just yet. We have to really take this one step at a time. I don't know any other way to do it. I do know another way to do it. I don't have to take it one step at a time. I could throw out a bunch of numbers to you that may or may not ever get hit out here. I'd rather do this methodically. So it's still bullish. It's it's both bullish and bearish. You got a topping signal, but price must close below that green line level. If it doesn't, it's just a natural retracement, even though it gave a topping signal. Now, I don't know if that. I hope that makes sense to you. It's easier for me because I understand my own gibberish.
No, I've been listening enough. You've been educating me for a few months now, so I appreciate it all. So I think I got it, and I just watch for that key signal. So thank you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and that's great. Glad to help, and best of luck on that trade out there. And thanks so much for calling.
Be well.
You bet. You bet. So I want to get back to, if I can, if I don't get to your questions, folks, from yesterday, I'll go ahead and email you. But let's see what we can do to get through it. So Jared was asking about the NASDAQ, and sometimes I use terminology. Look, I'm multitasking. I've got 4-5 screens in front of me, so I'm always looking around to take a look at what might be most pertinent. And I don't really walk and chew gum very well out there. That's why I only do one or the other. Just kidding. Now, so I may use terms like this is weak or this is strong or what have you, but it must be taken in context out here. And so the question was basically, hey, is the mere fact that the NASDAQ 100, because what Jared had heard me say is, it's weak out here. He's heard other contributors say that it's weak out here. Is that the sign of a top? And I don't know. From my standpoint, I'm just trying to look for my chart out here. From my standpoint, that's not how I would determine a top, Jared. That is not how I would determine a top. I determine tops or bottoms based upon this handful of patterns that you and I look at, as we just did here, during this show. So with regard to the NASDAQ, and I'll pull up the cash indice out here. So I'm going to pull up the NDX 100. So for me, the sign of a top is like a Rhodes momentum indicator signal, a TD9 count, wave number 7, the letter G, or a sell the D point. And here inside the NDX 100, it's clear. It's very clear. It generated a TD9 count top, and it generated a Rhodes momentum indicator top, very much like we just took a look at for the silver contract out here. That was also a key reversal session on that day. If you're watching us on Tiger TV, you can see that. So you've got a top that's in place. Now, inside the NDX 100, price is below Stevie's green line. So that is, as long as, and that's at 10,752, that's telling us that price may want to pull back to where it broke out. 99.5683, but we also have to go over to those daily profiles inside the NQ to really kind of piece this together. The last piece of it is here, and I guess the question was, hey, it led us up. Should the Qs lead us down? Let's answer that question when we get back from this break. But I'm going to tell you the answer is no. That's not necessarily what it means. We'll be right back.
With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The gold report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The gold report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the gold report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the gold report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. So we're taking a look at what I've got up on my screen here, the 4 ETFs, the diamonds, the SPYs, the Qs, and the IWM. I suggest you have a chart or set of charts like this before. And I'm going back to Jared's question about weakness out here and trying to interpret what it is that I might say. So time frame is really relevant out there. And so as we take a look, this is a weekly chart out here. And you can see for the week that the Qs are the weakest. How can I say that? Well, we're trading above last week's close inside the diamonds, inside the SPYs, and inside the Russell 2000. We are not trading above last week's close inside the QQQ. Does that mean it's a top? No. Remember, for me, a top's got to be an actual pattern out here. But what's also relevant about that? So yes, this week the Qs are the weakest, but it's actually the strongest. It is the only indice that has broken out. What do you mean, Steve-O? On this chart, and you should have it too, you should always have it. You should know where the prior year's high and low is, because the only way a stock can break out is by trading above the prior year's high. Well, if you take a look at the bottom left panel out here, this is the only index, only ETF that's trading above its 2019 high, which is a 214.56. The S&P or the SPY got up to that level, which was 323.80, rejected it, and is trading below it. So from a shorting standpoint, do you want to short the strongest indice out here? I say no. It's much easier. Short the weakest indice. And the weakest indices at this stage here, it's not the SPY and it's not the Dow Diamonds. It is the Qs or the IWM. So let's get to the next question out here. So, Jared, I hope that helps you out. Johnny wanted to know where were the breakout levels on the S&P 500. And that's pretty simple. You've got 3 of them. You've got 3047.83. That's your first one. The second one would be 2913.86. And then the bottom one, and then the next one would be 2574.57. Those are all the areas that the SPY or the S&P's got to get through to get back to the March low. That is totally different than the setup inside the Dow. The Dow has one level to get through. That's 24,781.84. That's why I've always maintained the Dow is the one that can get back to March. Have a great day, folks.